It's shoulder season. You're a cyclist and you're probably starting to think, how am I going to stay active in the frozen wasteland months of Winnipeg? Well, stay tuned and I've got some solutions for you. For many Winnipeggers, winter comes and that is the end of cycling season, but not necessarily you, because you're one of those quirky people who, well, we just like to keep pedaling as long as we can for as much as we can. So if you're thinking about riding this winter, maybe it's even your first winter that you're going to ride, I want to invite you, come on in, because we actually winter ride here. There's 3 or 4 of us who have ridden our bikes through many winters. We've tried all sorts of different things, and we've got some solutions that can be really specific for you. Take, for example, winter tires. The last few years, it seems like we get a lot of freeze-thaw, November and March, and that means that there is glaze ice all over the roads. You never know when you're just going to go down. So studded tires or even a good pair of just soft winter compound rubber, kind of the same as what they put on winter tires for cars. In fact, probably a little bit better because cars have 4 tires on the ground, and if they slide, it's not nearly as devastating for us. So the rubber gets better on bike tires, and it will help you to stay upright through those freeze-thaw seasons of riding in Winnipeg. Lots of people will come in and they'll ask about saving their drivetrain, because chains and gears and other parts on your bike get very rusty through the winter unless you do this one thing. And I promise, this one thing has saved countless drivetrains of our customers because it started with me. Now, I lived in a very wet climate for a while, and I discovered that it wasn't the salt and the sand on the road that was causing the rust on your chain and on your gears. You know what it is? It's condensation. So every time you bring your cold bike inside, even if it's in your garage, I'm telling you, even in your garage, unheated garage, your bike will go through the freeze-thaw cycle several times, maybe in a week. So when it's doing that, every time it's the coldest thing in the room, all the moisture in that area sticks to your bike. And that's what's causing the rust. So we can save your drivetrain simply with a spray from Muck Off called MO94. Honestly, I'm one of the laziest bike mechanical maintenance people that you've met. I bring my bike in winter. I literally spend 1.5 seconds protecting my drivetrain. I take this can of MO94 and I spray it. I even use the sound effects, I promise. 1.5 seconds, I make sure it doesn't get on my brake rotors, and maybe the next time, just before I go out riding next time, I might grab a rag and wipe down my chain. If I forget, not that big of a deal because there's some lubrication factors in there, and it's winter. There's no mud, there's no dust, nothing's getting on my chain except moisture. And if I've got a little bit of extra lube, when I do wipe it off, it's going to take off the little bit of road grime that I've gained. So that's going to save your drivetrain. And I promise you, you will be amazed that your drivetrain will look maybe better than it did in the fall when you started riding, because you'll just do that constant taking care of your chain and the other parts that can rust in winter. Okay, the third thing that you're going to want to think about if you're going to be riding through the winter then is your clothing. And just for fun, I've got on some 45 North clothing here, so a really great shell that's got no sleeves, so really good for the shoulder season, hey? Showing off my shoulders. You got that, hey? And a merino wool base layer. Now, this is same quality that you can pay, well over $200 for. Because it doesn't have the same name brand, it's less. They're not cheap, but gosh, this is a really nice bit of clothing that I can wear for any of my winter activities, because you're a good Winnipegger and you probably don't want to have one piece of clothing that you can only use for cycling. Being able to use it for skiing or for walking the dog, or you're going sledding with the kids. Having that good piece of clothing that's gonna keep you warm and dry and comfortable is gonna be fantastic. So what I recommend is that if you're gonna be riding, come on into the store, take a look at some of the options that are gonna keep you riding effectively. We'll be happy to show you the products that we actually use and have tested. So come on in, we'll be happy to make the recommendations. Better yet, book your bike to get ready for winter, and we get those winter tires put on for you, maybe even get some winter grease into the places where you've got bearings. All right, that's gonna be the best thing to get ready for winter. Another way to stay active in the winter, of course, is if you want to get riding on a fat bike. I have spent a couple winters riding fat bikes, and I'll tell you, it is like driving a monster truck. So if you have never experienced riding a fat bike in winter, traction all changes, all sorts of paths become new paths. In fact, if you hopped on Strava today, you would see a number of different routes that you can only do in winter because they cross the river, or they travel along the river, or they go up creeks that you could just never mountain bike on when there's actually water flowing. So there's a lot of really fun places to ride. In fact, last winter I had a really fun ride where I started at my place in East Kildonan, and going through St. Boniface, I rode on the Seine River, then I crossed the Red River, and I rode up the Assiniboine River all the way to Burkevale. Avoided some open water spots and the like, but it was really fun and something you would never be able to do in the summer. You get to see the city from a different perspective. You see different people out there, you see different animals out there. It's really fantastic. There's great fat bike trails out in Birds Hill Park. There are groomed trails in Riding Mountain. So there's more and more fat bike trails being developed, and in fact, you can develop your own fat bike trails just by riding them. So you can make routes wherever, and you're not going to be disturbing nature or disturbing many people. Just please stay off the cross-country ski trails, because that is extremely annoying when the fat bikers ride through the cross-country ski trails. Okay, one last thing that you can stay active, because you're a cyclist, a winter trainer. Riding a bike inside in the winter can be amazing. So this is something that I've done throughout my life. It started with a very noisy fan generating wind trainer in my parents' basement, and to now an incredible Bluetooth Ant Plus machine that tells me my cadence and my wattage and lets me ride in virtual places. I can wake up in the morning, go downstairs, ride my bike for half an hour, 2 hours if it's a Sunday morning and nobody else is getting up. Then I can start my day. I've already done my ride. I don't have to go to a gym. I don't have to get in my car to go do something. I can just ride in the basement and get strong and healthy. In fact, really specific training on my indoor trainer has probably put me in some of the best cycling shape by late February, early March every year, because I just have time to really specifically train as opposed to just getting out and riding in the outdoors. Now, if you're a cyclist, you probably really enjoy just getting outside, enjoying the fresh air, seeing things that maybe other people don't see while they're driving in their cars or they're sitting on their couch watching Netflix. What about trying cross-country skiing in the winter? Lots of the same benefits. You get out, you see things that other people don't see, and you get to actually embrace winter while you're improving your fitness And I'll tell you, cross-country skiing will improve your fitness far more than cycling. You use your whole body, and in a season when everybody's cozied up in their little cocoons, you're getting better and enjoying winter. Imagine that. You could embrace winter and still be in better shape for spring. So those are my tips for how to stay active this season as a cyclist. So how about this? You're gonna put your bike away this winter. You're gonna get your skis ready this fall. How about do it at the same time? So bring your bike in for a silver tune-up. Then, instead of putting your bike away, you can put your bike away ready. You can avoid the wait times in spring. And as a bonus for November, because everybody wants a November bonus, so I'm here to give you a November bonus. You're gonna love it. Bring your skis in, get the silver tune-up for your bike, get your skis hot waxed, and the hot wax is free.
Hot wax is free. Wax is free.
Only for November, I promise. If you come in December 1st, deal's over, because it's gotta be special. Just you and me in November getting your skis ready. Then when the snow comes, you'll be ready. And when the snow goes, you'll be ready. Imagine that, you'll be double ready for all your winter activities. Best thing that you can do, come on into the shop, talk to an expert. We'd love to talk you through your options and find what's gonna be best for you this winter so that you can stay active and healthy and enjoy everything that Winnipeg has to offer on the outside. I'm Coach Robb from Olympia Cycle Ski here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I can't wait to see you here so that we can get you on the trails this winter.